means coming to an end.
Vocabulary refers to knowing the meaning of words and is critical to successful reading comprehension. Building vocabulary involves teaching your learner how to figure out the meaning of words while reading. It also requires selecting and studying the meanings of individual words and parts of words. It's important to relate these vocabulary words to learners' current and prior experiences to help cement them in their word bank. Signal words are words that give a reader clues about what is important in a story. They tell us how to read a text effectively and understand how ideas are organized. They help us understand the structure of a story, what we might expect, and what to look for.
So do you want to try to maybe make your own sentence using one of these signal words?
Okay.
Pick one.
I think I like
Finally?
finally.
Okay, so let's use your experience this morning. Just try and think of a short sentence that you can use the word finally. You want me to write it while you say
My
it?
morning started off in a hurry, but finally I got to my meeting. And the result of the meeting...
Oh, as a result. We're using two and one. As a result.
As a result, I got to sit and talk to a friend, and I felt much better.
Great. So the most important thing is you got to sit and talk to a friend. Mm-hmm. So you clued in the reader by saying, as a result. Mm-hmm. It's great. Okay. Now, what if in this story that we read, what if we swapped out one signal word for another?
In conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Like if I put, in conclusion, play technique, when done well, gives adults a chance to understand a child better. Does it change the meaning at all?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think so.
How?
I like as a result.
Okay.
Yeah. In conclusion, it don't give it as much meaning to me.
I think it's a good fit because the sentence before it tells
I
us,
didn't read the
sentence before it says feelings of all sorts may be revealed in play. As a result, play technique gives adults a chance. So it's a good bridge. If I said, in conclusion, play technique, when done well, gives adults a chance to understand a child better. It works, but it just doesn't flow as well. A lot of times this signal word is used in speeches, the in conclusion.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of overused maybe.
Okay.
But a lot of public speakers, you'll hear them say that when they're giving a speech.
That's
because
right.
They want people to, if they've zoned out during the speech, they want to bring them back and listen to their final statement, because that's the most important thing, or they're going to wrap up their speech.
And that makes good sense to use it more in a speech form.
Good. So in each of these cases, the author is telling us the story's almost over.
Yes.
Right? And all of the signal words that are in that conclusion category are going to be the same. They're all going to kind of tell us the end is coming, or the important part you want to pay attention to is next. So do you want to practice using one of these in a little paragraph?
Okay.
Okay. So should we write a few sentences, and then which one would you like to use?
I still like finally.
You like finally. Mm-hmm. Okay. So finally has to do with time. So it's like the end of something, right? Final, like when you take a final in school, it's the last test you take.
Yes.
So finally means the last thing. So it's usually a list or a sequence, and then the last thing happens. Okay. So if we're talking about your morning, give me a couple of steps of what happened, and then the final thing.
Okay. The main thing was I got to talk to my friend Pete this morning, and then I went to work. And being at work, I got to talk to April, and then I finally got to come to the library. Okay. And then I talked to you.
Okay. So I got to talk to Pete this morning. I went to work, and then I talked to April. And finally,
I came to the library. And I got to talk to you.
So if I read that back to you without the word, without the signal word, tell me if it sounds better or if it's the same. Okay. I got to talk to Pete, my friend Pete, this morning. I went to work, and I got to talk to April. I came to the library and talked to you. That's without the signal word.
Okay.
Now let's read it with the signal word. I got to talk to Pete this morning. I went to work and I got to talk to April. Finally, I came to the library and I got to talk to you.
Yeah, I like
You
finally.
like finally. It really makes it sound more sequential.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So there's a sequence and this is the last thing you did.
Yep.
We're here right now.
Right now.
What do you think about the strategy of looking for signal words? Where do the signal words, these conclusion words, where do they show up?
At the end.
The last sentence, right? At the beginning of the last sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one strategy you can look at, is right at the beginning of the end of the paragraph, whether it's the last sentence. See if any of those signal words that we're going to be working on and putting in your little word bank are showing up, and those are important parts of the paragraphs. Do you think this is a helpful strategy to kind of highlight them and then talk about what they mean?
Yes, and it's, you know what, and this is also new to me. I've never knew the words strategy words or signal words. I never knew anything about that. So to see that and to learn that today is a really big thing for me.
That's
so
great.
I really enjoyed
That's
it.
great. So do you have any questions about signal words?
Yeah, I can't wait to find out what the rest of
There's
them
a
are.
lot of them. There's a lot of them, but we'll just do them in small categories because they'll all be similar while we're talking about conclusion ones. Then we'll move on to a different category.
Also, reading now I'll be looking for.
Excellent. That's the strategy.
There you
Okay.
go. That's good.
Yeah. Would you like to continue practicing this
Yes.
strategy?
Yes.
And learning some more signal words so that you can find them?
Yes.
We'll just highlight them in things that we find and then we read
And
together?
we read, yeah.
Okay. So that's what we'll do. Each week we'll practice a few signal words, and then over time you'll be able to recognize those signal words, and eventually you'll know them all and you can use them. You'll recognize them automatically and it'll help your comprehension.
Okay.
And the best part will be that this strategy is something you can use on your own when you're reading at home. You'll know them because we're going to build a whole bank of those for you in your vocabulary. Okay?
Signal words and phrases mark relationships between ideas and information. Being able to identify and use signal words is a powerful strategy for learners. Learning them not only increases a learner's vocabulary, it also boosts a person's reading comprehension. Developing background knowledge and a strong vocabulary is key to reading well. For this reason, it's important to explicitly and regularly focus on vocabulary development with your learner. You've seen a tutor do quite a bit of talking when explaining a new strategy. During most lessons, you and your learner would be equally talkative.